Welcome back to another episode of the Dylan Knows Ball podcast. And Jaylen, we are a little late, but LeBron is a Philadelphia 76er. How do you feel?
I was genuinely surprised. I should have thought more into it. They deflected us, rightfully so. I honestly thought LeBron was going to Miami. I thought all the signs aligned there, but to be honest, the team that was going to put him in the best starting five that he had would have been this Philly team. And so I understand it. I'm excited. I think we're all on the Philly fan rental for 2 years, which hey, let's hop on it. I'm pause, but I'm excited for it. I think the way they all play together is going to be fun to watch. I don't know how many games the actual five will get in during the regular season, but I think if they get like a 40 game threshold, they'll be pretty good going in the playoffs.
So how do you think? Because me personally, I think this is like a make or break for his legacy. Like if he doesn't win, if he doesn't at least make what Eastern Conference Finals, maybe NBA Finals, like I think that just hurts his legacy, does it not? Because he technically, I mean, this is not a super team, but he is kind of like trying to get the best team possible to win.
Yes.
So it's and what I think is also very interesting is like whose team is this? Joel Embiid's team? Is this LeBron's team? Is this Maxi's team? Is this Jaylen Brown's team? Like who is going to be the number one option? That's something else I just completely have no idea about at all. It's going to be very, very interesting.
The number one option is going to be Jaylen Brown, in my opinion, but like the captain of this team is going to be LeBron, and like it
Hmm.
has came out that they're working on getting Maxi. His whole offseason regimen's kind of been working off ball, so I think LeBron's kind of going to be a point guard, and I mean, hey, like put the smartest player at the helm of the ball when you have when you have four pretty much potential all stars all around you. You see VJ comes the only one left, so I think that Brown will be the first option. It's going to go Brown, Maxi, Embiid. But I mean, here's the thing: is if Embiid's healthy, then he's the top five center in the league. So and this is also his first offseason healthy. So I would go one. I would say right now, going into the season, if they're all healthy, you got to go one. You got to go one, Jaylen Brown, two, Embiid, three, Maxi, four, LeBron. But LeBron is really going to be a facilitator, so he's going
Yeah.
to get a lot of assists.
I completely agree with that. Like because he said this is basically on he just wants to win. I think that he's gonna kind of realize like this cannot be his team, and I do feel a little bit bad for Edgecombe because I feel like he's kind of just gonna be like I don't really and maybe hey like if LeBron and Embiid are out a few games because they're probably not I'd be surprised if this is kind of like the Harden, Kyrie, KD where only what it was like 10 games where they all played. Well, I'm just saying like cohesiveness wise. Like I don't think in the regular season, I don't think in the regular season they're going to be playing like as much as we think.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that's what I'm saying is that if they make it to playing 40 games together, which I highly doubt that they will, or I mean, I hope
Yeah.
they do, but um, yeah,
Come playoff time, this it's going to be must see TV. And when
exactly. But the
this
thing is you need chemistry before
yeah.
then. They got
Mhm.
to build that chemistry.
Well, I feel
So
like LeBron automatically just has like I feel like he gets along with almost all of his teammates. Like I feel like that's not well, and then also I believe what Embiid was totally in with LeBron Jordan. Like he told LeBron how like he was trying to recruit LeBron. You obviously Maxi is a clutch client. I'm sure Jaylen Brown. I think I might have saw Jaylen Brown also had something to do with him coming to the Sixers. So I don't like I don't. I guess chemistry wise, it's going to be more like I think they'll all get along, but I think it's more going to be how they have chemistry, like who's going to have the ball last possession, because like they're always saying, there's only one ball. So who's going to be comfortable with being, hey, I'll sit in the corner, I'll let you do your thing. So that will also be very interesting to me.
but also at the end of the day, it's do you want to win? It's all about winning. So they're all
Mm-hmm.
going to, and I mean, hey, you're playing LeBron his last 2 years. Let's win. It's all
Yeah,
about winning.
yeah.
So they're gonna put the stuff to the side. Jaylen Brown took a. I'm not saying that Celtics team is horrible, but if Jaylen Brown was not on that team, they would not have been that two seed last year.
No,
So that's
no.
what I'm saying. And his thing is, Jaylen Brown can guard. Not saying he can guard 1 through 5 because I mean he had to guard Embiid in the playoffs and he got cooked. So he can guard 1 through 4. But my thing is the biggest matchup is like say they play Cleveland. All right, Maxi on. You can put Maxi on Mitchell. You can put Maxey or Brown on Mitchell. But the thing is I feel dangerous when it's LeBron versus Evan Mobley. Not saying LeBron can't guard Evan Mobley, but like matchup wise, that's a hurtful matchup. So I'm saying is Philly going to be too small? Could Philly run into a problem where they get height issues? Because also
Well,
everybody's trying to be 7 foot plus now, so that's another thing.
yeah, and I totally agree with that. And we'll get into this more because we're going to be ranking our like our Eastern Conference, whatever. But looking at the depth of the Sixers bigs, what it's Adem Bona and Hawk Porty. And I mean, I guess you could be worse off. I mean, they did help beat the Celtics, so it's not necessarily like they're like that trash. But
Mm.
that would be kind of interesting because yeah, like when if Embiid does get into foul trouble, or let's say he's still on a minutes restriction, because I mean, we saw in the Celtics series, he didn't play what the first three games. So when you need that depth, I do think that would be very interesting. And like Bona is not bad. Like I feel like both Hookporty and Bona can just be people you just throw in there and they just get minutes, get rebounds, draw a few fouls, get Embiid some rest. So I think that will be very like that will be a key for sure. But yeah, and I do really like your point as well about like the whole LeBron. Like he will be. I think people are kind of hyping up a little too much where he's gonna kind of still want the ball. I think he very much is going to want to pass more, like you said. I don't think he's going to want to average 20. He might be averaging, I don't know, 15 points and seven assists. Like I
Yeah,
feel like enough that is plenty for this team.
yeah. And so Club 520 was also saying on Jeff T's podcast, they were like, if you take this and throw it like at the 2016 Cavs, who's going to be the Kevin Love? And in this case, it's LeBron,
Yeah.
and they know that. So I'm excited
And
for
yeah,
that.
and bringing up podcasts because I was listening to Bill Simmons the few days after. Um, I thought it was very interesting because he brought up a point where could the Sixers potentially trade Embiid? Um, and but I kind of like this reasoning. Maybe this is they see how this year goes. LeBron's last year on his contract. They decide from there. But he brought up so some of the trades that he suggested. So you have Embiid. The one I liked the most was Dallas would get Embiid, and then you would trade Gafford, PJ Washington, and Clay. And there might have to be like three teams in that, but I think that works pretty well. Yes, like I think Gafford. I mean, I know Gafford is kind of injury prone, but I think that Gafford and PJ would be good down low. He also said send Embiid to the Nets straight up from Michael Porter Jr., just a player for player, which I don't know if that would necessarily fit. And then last he said Embiid go to the Bucks and the Sixers get Miles Turner and Kuzma, which I kind of like that as well. That's a lot easier said than done. And like I said, that's probably more of a second year thing. Um, but would be very interesting just to see what they do with Embiid, because if they're in win now mode and maybe Embiid doesn't play, as much as they want him to, then I definitely think it could be an option.
So here's my thing is I'll say that, but as a GM, here's your outlook, right? Say you go into next year, right? Say they don't win the finals. As a GM, as your franchise outlook, are you going to choose 1 year with LeBron, or are you still going to choose Embiid?
That
And if
is
I'm a
that is a great
GM,
point.
I mean, I'm just going to choose. I got to choose Embiid because 1 year
Yeah,
is one
that's
year.
true.
Franchise is a franchise, so
Yeah.
I got to keep building. So I don't. I'm not saying I don't agree with that scenario. I don't really like it.
Yeah, that is a great
There's
point,
always a
actually.
scenario where Embiid could get traded because that's always been a topic, but I wouldn't see LeBron coming to Philly and then them trading Embiid.
Yeah.
Because I think
And you,
Embiid really is what's the motor, what's really going to be the motor of this.
and then even for the other teams, like, what is the point in the Nets getting Embiid? Like, that's not gonna make them a playoff team or anything. So that's also something else.
Yes.
But do you want to go ahead and get into your Eastern Conference rankings? I can go first if you'd like me to. Um, this one's gonna be pretty easy. Knicks number one. I mean, they just won an NBA championship. I mean, you can't put them below one if they just beat the Thunder. Well, they didn't beat the Thunder, but they beat the Spurs, who beat the Thunder. So technically, they are probably one of the better teams in the East at least. So yeah, not much explaining other than the Knicks. So do you have Knicks at one, or do you have something different?
I agree. I have the Knicks at one as well. It's just my question is how much will Andre Drummond make up for Mitchell Robinson? You know what I'm saying? Andre Drummond can still get bored. 'Cause, I mean, when he had to come fill in for Embiid last year, he still did his role. Is my thing, is that going to be Mitchell Robinson? Kind of like how we're saying the Sixers. Is it going to be a Mitchell Robinson sustaining all season thing?
Mhm.
So that's the only thing I have a
Well,
question about.
Mitchell Robinson's on the Celtics now.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Andre Drummond he's
Oh,
taking
duh.
that
You're right. You're
role.
right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. And then yeah, that actually will Celtics will be not top two for me, but I do still think that the Pistons with Jalen Duren are the second best team in the Eastern Conference. I just think that they if and I know with Duren, he's kind of I think when I was doing research about this, Duren just wants more money. He wants to get off of his rookie contract, but the Pistons don't want to do that because I have it written down actually. Duren Duren wants roughly $40 million a year, and if they end up signing Duren for that much, that will put Dern and Cade, just both of them, 50+% of the whole entire salary for the Pistons. I'll put them over the salary cap, put them in the second apron. So the Pistons are wanting um, to at least be one more year on his rookie contract, and then he just enter free agency. But I do think that, with the addition of John Collins, Cade is still probably one of the best guards in the whole entire league. You have Duncan Robinson, who was 18th in total three-point shooting percent last year. I think Ibuka Okori is also another very sneaky guard that can help them. He averaged 18.6 points per game in the summer league off of 4 assists. He was one of the best scorers in the ACC last year for Stanford. He was just an amazing watch. Um, and yeah, I think that, and even who was the other guard that they picked up? Shoot, oh, Isaiah Joe. They also picked up Isaiah Joe, who's going to add a little bit more scoring as well.
That's me a
Coming from
lot. Yep.
coming from the
That's me.
Thunder, he averaged, what was it? 11.1 points per game on only 21 minutes a game. So he's only playing half of the game for the Thunder. So he's going to get more traction, more play, more minutes. So I think that the guards, I mean, of course they could be better, but I really do like the Pistons.
Yes. Okay. So my number two, I'm gonna go with Philly. The signing of Braun and the trade with KCP is just now they're just really starting to add championship DNA, and they're just healthy. Right now they're healthy. So going into the season, they
Mhm.
are the second best team in the East. You can't put
Dang,
them
we
over number one because of
we
New
are
York.
very different. Ooh, okay, interesting. Go ahead and say your third team. I'm interested.
My third team, I'm gonna go with Detroit. Like you said, I was 3 and 4 are kind of interchangeable, but you'll hear my reasoning on why I kept four as four. But
Okay.
three, I got Detroit. I love the addition of Isaiah Joe. It's going to be more stable shooting, and I think he's really got an opportunity now. So I think let him go in his opportunity. He'll probably be the first or second guy off the bench. So I think it's going to add a lot more shooting, and John Collins will be a lot more on the offensive and defensive end. And I mean, I think his production really wasn't talked about much in LA last year, and I think that him on a more championship wanting team is going to make him more wanting to play this game better. So I really like the addition of those two.
I agree. Yeah, I think that um John Collins adds like he's just like he moves quicker, he moves better. I think that he will be a great addition. Lob threat. He was like that for the Hawks with Trey. I think he'll be that with Cade as well. For me at three, over the 76ers, I had the Boston Celtics. I I don't know. Last year we said Joe Mazzulla didn't have it. Then what happened with the Celtics? They were a two seed. Yes, they did lose to the 76ers, but that was because Embiid drops like 40 points in like three straight games.
Who made the
And
Celtics a 2 seed last season? Who made them a 2 seed?
who did? I don't.
What player put the ball through the hoop for the Celtics the most for them to be a
Oh,
2 seed?
Jaylen Brown, Jaylen Brown.
And he is not there. Here's my only thing about this. As a franchise, I love everybody's hype about Jason Tatum. I think he's a great player. Coming off a torn Achilles,
Hmm.
you're giving away a guy who was top five in MVP voting, and you're going to choose a guy coming back from a torn Achilles. I personally
But
like
he
the
has a whole
direction
offseason to be
Boston.
healthy.
I really like the direction Boston was going in with Jaylen Brown, to be honest. But yeah, that's your ranking. That's your ranking.
But I think Missoula is such a good coach. And you look at the roster. So as I mentioned earlier, now you have Duncan Robinson and Kata down low, which I think is a great like starting and backup like bigs. Kata, I mean, you could play.
You
I wouldn't
said
say
Duncan Robinson.
I'm Mitchell Robinson. Stupid. Mitchell Robinson. he could be the starting five. Kata could maybe even be the four. That would be a little bit of a stretch, but you could play big. Um, Derek White, 16.5 points per game on 5 assists. He didn't shoot the best. Like he definitely had a down year, but I think, he adds shooting. Pritchard, coming off the bench, he averaged 17 points per game on 5 assists. Sam Hauser, 41.2% from three. Tatum, like, yes, he could have been better in the playoffs, but he looked pretty good coming off of an injury, and he has the whole offseason to recover. I just saw Tyrese Halliburton hitting an East Bay. So I think that just with science now, Tatum is going to be a lot better. And when you look besides Embiid for the 76ers, and I guess you can say Maxey, Paul George was one of the reasons that they beat the Celtics in game seven and basically five and six. Like, he didn't play the best against the Knicks in the second round, but Paul George averaged 17 points per game in the playoffs. Playoff P. So
Perk P. Perk P. Perk P.
I don't know, man. I'm not ready to count out Joe Mazzulla quite yet. I just feel like, and it's not even like this is the most like college basketball team ever because they know how to play with each other. The same questions we have about the 76ers, the Celtics have proven that they can do it. So that's just me.
Hmm. All
So
right. And my fourth team, this could be a little controversial. Pending this trade, the Toronto Raptors.
Raptors, wow.
I
Wow, that
love
is
this team.
wild.
This team is sneaky. Not sneaky. It is sneaky underrated teams we're not talking about. I think
Wow.
Scotty Barnes and Kawhi playing together. Emmanuel quickly played insanely good this playoffs, and they kept RJ Barrett. You have an amazing center in Jacob Podol, who they just re-signed. Yes, you'll lose Grady Dick, Brandon Ingram, but hey, CMB will take another leap. I think he can even become a starter at some point. And
Yeah,
then you drafted well in the draft. You picked up Allen Graves, who's going to be smart,
they're
high
very
IQ
good.
player. Jaden Bradley, a high IQ player. So I mean, I really like this team. I like the outlook of this team.
I
So
agree. Yeah, I'll just say my fourth team was the 76ers. So that's what we differ on that, but I totally agree. I think that Scotty Barnes is one of the best up and coming players like in the whole entire league. He basically he was the reason that the Raptors made it to game seven versus the Cavs. He was so good. What were you gonna say?
and I think also with adding Kawhi, it truly lets Scotty just play as a
Yeah,
four,
yeah.
which I
And I
think he'll
even
be deadly effective as.
and per the stats, I looked this up because I was in so which was this was kind of surprising to me. The Raptors last year were 23rd in team offense and they were eighth in defense. And I think that Kawhi, and I'll kind of go into this a little bit more when I hit the Raptors for my rankings, but like I think Kawhi instantly boosts them up at least 10 spots. Like I think they
Yes.
go from 23rd, top 15, maybe like top 10. So, and then he's a good defender as well. So I like that. Even though I kind of have them a little further down, I do definitely kind of agree with that as well.
Mhm.
Um,
You see the
yeah,
vision.
I see the vision. For my fourth team, like I said, I have the 76ers. I do also want to hit on Phylon and Simons. I think they are good guards coming off the bench for the Sixers as well.
Yes.
Dean Wade stretches the floor. So I think that just adds more shooting. One through three, the 76ers are like amazing. The bigs do scare me a little bit, but we can see. I'm sure they'll make it work. My fifth team, gonna keep it local, Atlanta Hawks. If they keep Kaminga,
But
but
what if we trade for? What if we let Kaminga go on a sign and trade, get a little bit of big debt for him, and then we sign and we pull out the trade for Peyton Watson because we're still in the talk. We're
ooh,
still in
I
the
like
talks for
that.
Peyton Watson,
I like that.
and we
I like
need
that.
roster spots to give up. So,
Yeah. I mean, with Peyton Watson,
and
with
I love
Jonathan
Peyton
Kaminga,
Watson's game. I love his
yeah.
game. I think also him and Jalen Johnson playing together on the same floor.
Mm-hmm.
It would. I would kind of. It kind of looked questionable at first, but then I think them two would measure it out. And I think Peyton Watson just needs to be on another team to take that leap, which we already
Mm-hmm.
seen that he can. And I think he's one of the best two-way players in the game. So I think he becomes a primary option on a team. He's gonna really, really take
Yeah.
off.
And yeah, and like looking at it, so the Hawks were, which I always kind of thought the Hawks were more of like a defensive team, but looking at it, they were 10th in average points per game at 117 and 7th in 3-point percentage last year. Oh my God, TV just turned off. Um, anyways, sorry about that. And so the Hawks, let me restart. So the Hawks, they were 10th in average points per game last year, and then they also um 7th in 3-point percentage. And defensively wise, I think that with Lou Dort, I mean, I wouldn't say Lou Dort like completely changes the defensive outlook for this team, but I think that he definitely adds a little bit more. Um, but the guard play needs to be better, not scoring wise, but definitely kind of running a like a compete cohesive offense because when Jalen Johnson, your four is your leading your assist leader. I think that's when you have an issue because CJ McCollum averaged just under 4 assists per game. Nikhil averaged under 4 assists per game. So I think that's where Flemings is going to be super valuable. You know, in the summer league, he averaged 6.5 assists per game. And so in total, he had 27 assists with only 9 turnovers. So I think that's pretty good. He like again, he didn't score the best, but I think that he will be a great addition coming off the bench, to where he can facilitate better, to where if CJ McCollum needs a break, he can be the one that pass it to Jalen Johnson, pass it Nikhil Alexander Walker, Onyeka, like even Zuby, who I think will be a great second stringer at the four or the five, hopefully the four, and then have Mo Gay slide down to the five. But um I just really like that. And the only thing, Aaron Wiggins as well, 9.4 points per game last season, only 21.8 minutes. So I think that the two guards from the Thunder are going to help us out a lot. Like I said, Lou Dort did not have the best season. 2 years ago, he let me see. I forgot. His numbers were down. Yeah, so he only averaged 8 points last year, which is two less than the year before that. And the year before last year, he shot 41% from three, and then last year he shot 34%. So they were kind of down a little bit, and in the playoffs, he wasn't the greatest. Um, but I don't know. I just like the Hawks. Maybe it's just kind of a little biased. But yeah, give me the Hawks at the five position.
That's a good five. I'll never disagree with that. But my fifth is, even though I think the roster still is not complete yet, and I think they'll add one more scoring option, probably one more shooter, is Miami. You had
Oh
Giannis,
gosh, I need to take a shower.
you have Giannis and Bam. So that's
Oh my
instantly one
God.
of the best. That's instantly one of the best backcourt, best front courts in the league. So um, I got to throw them at
Our
five,
list, our
and I
list
think
is so different. Oh my gosh.
I would have added. I mean, they can still add Klay Thompson or DeMar DeRozan. So I really like Miami here at five.
I'm pretty sure I have the Heat like, oh my gosh. Wait, let me see. So
Where
the
do you
Hawks
have
are
the
fifth, sixth.
who
I
who's
I have
who's
I have the Heat ninth.
who's higher, the Heat or the Pacers?
Heat.
Okay, I was about to say. I was about to say.
Nah, I'm not there on the Pacers this year. I'm not.
Tyrese better be looking for another trade. They're done. They're done.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Heat are gonna be great defensively. I mean, I'm not sure how Giannis is going to do with Bam, they're going to be two bigs that predominantly play down low. I mean, Bam can stretch the floor, um, but it's just the guard play for me. You have Davion Mitchell, but like other than that, Ryan Conwell, who is a volume shooter, whether it was Louisville or in the summer league. I mean, this dude probably tries to shoot 20 shots a game,
Yes.
and so that's like concerning. I mean. Larson off the bench maybe could do something. I mean, what they have Andrew Wiggins, like I don't
Yeah, they got
T
Wig. I mean, they
Tim Hardaway.
got his dad's
Um,
number.
oh
He got his
shoot,
dad's number.
that's cool.
So, but I mean, yes, even though like the depth may be scary, but I think it's the firepower that they have. And I think no team wants to run into Giannis and Bam in the postseason. At the end of the day,
That is true.
it may look bad on it may not look that great on offense, but defense wins championships. So if you
Yeah.
play a Miami team and they suppress you by 15 points than what you average, then you're playing in their back game. You're playing in their ball game.
Well, yeah, I also like how you brought up Clay. I think Clay would be perfect for
Hmm.
I know DeMar has also kind of been the Heat have been interested in him as well. But and then okay, so my sixth. this is just because I think they're besides the Sixers, they're gonna be the most fun team. I have the Hornets. I
Yeah.
they're gonna be so fun. You have Naj Reid, Kobe White, Colin Kniffel, Brandon Miller. Like they're gonna get up sh so many threes. Grayson Allen. Like they're gonna get up so many threes. And you have Steinbach. I don't know who's gonna start, Steinbach or Kalkbrenner, but you have those two 7-footers who are gonna be great. Um, they're just gonna shoot they're gonna shoot so many threes, and they probably will make them, but they're gonna be a fun team.
Do you think Khan can get up to 20 a game this season?
Yes,
Yep.
100%. With LaMelo gone, I mean,
Yep.
he's probably gonna take majority of the shots. So,
And Nas Reed gets a bigger role too now. All of a sudden, he's
yeah,
going to start. He'll be the power forward.
yeah.
He could turn into an all star. You never know. He gets his role.
And then I mean, even like
Brandon Miller.
Con,
Brandon Miller is going to take a role, take a leap,
yeah,
even
for sure,
better.
yeah. I mean, everyone, and then you have Christian Anderson who also can shoot the ball very well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had like he shot like 90% in workouts and stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, and like technically, last year should have been his worst year. It was his rookie year, so he should be going up every single season, or at least steady incline. So I just think he can get better and better. Um, yeah, I don't know. Grayson Allen, 16.5 points per game. He's coming off the bench, shot 35% from three. Like Naj Reid coming off the bench, 13.6 points per game. Like I think that defensively that could be kind of an issue, but they're gonna be fun. They're like one of those they're gonna be the league pass team where everyone's just gonna want to watch them play. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
all right. What are we on? Would it be is this your sixth or is it your
Yes, my
fifth?
six is going to be Atlanta.
Okay.
I gotta have him in there. So, I'm very excited for my team for the Hawks. Well, that's like you kind of covered them perfectly as well. I
Yeah.
think we're just a big man away, and I mean we can get. And I said also Peyton Watson, or we keep Kuminga. I think honestly, I'd rather generally have Peyton Watson because I think there's more upside to having him
Hmm.
than having Kuminga, and I think also Lou Dort and Aaron Wiggins. I think Aaron Wiggins can hopefully get up to. I mean, he'll come off the bench still, in my opinion, but he'll have more of a bench role. But I think like he'll maybe get like a 4 to 5 minute increment increase off the bench. But I think that if
Hmm.
that can add 6 more points, then I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? But I think the Hawks are really just trending towards this having really a deep team and just have everybody who can go out there and play, which I love that. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and um so what I really should have numbered my list. So I had one, two, three, four, five, six. So this is my seventh team. So this is where I have the Raptors at seven. That might be kind of crazy, but again, I just want they're probably better than the Hornets, but I just think the Hornets can be fun, so I just had them at six. But kind of hidden back on what I was talking about with Kawhi, where how he just elevates his team offensively. Um, Kawhi, he had 5 40-point games last season, and he had where is that? And then he had shoot, I thought I wrote it down, but whatever. And in he had his highest game last season was 55 points, and he shot 65% from the field. That is absolutely insane. And he averaged 27.9 points per game, 50.5% from the field. And he's just so efficient. Like I don't know how he immediately does not elevate this team. Like it's gonna, and then Allen Graves as well, 16.8 points per game in the summer league, 4 assists, 4.8 assists, so just under 5 assists. Like he's gonna be perfect for this offense because I mean he's probably gonna play the three. I don't necessarily think he's the four, but he can have somewhat of the same impact as Scotty Barnes does, to where he can stretch the floor, put it on the floor, shoot the three, pass it, CMB, like you said. I think it's going to be another great ad. And then again, Jamal Shed and Jacoby Walter are going to be great as well. Um, Jalen, I do want to ask you because we're kind of getting deep in the conference, and we can kind of end it on here. But what do you think about the Wizards? We're like with they have Trey, Bud Carrington, Trey Johnson, Koulibaly, AJ, Anthony Davis, Chris Middleton, Sar, Ayton. Like how do you think that this team ends up playing out?
Um, You know, I will say with how they signed Trey, I think Trey's really committed. And I mean, I listened to Trey on the pivot, and I think he's truly committed to playing this year and truly committed not just glory daggling. He said he feels in the greatest shape of his life. And I mean, Anthony Davis is still trying to play for a max contract, so maybe like when he's healthy, he's still one of the best big men in the game, if not probably the best power forward in the game. The thing I worry about is just they have so much on the bench, so I think they're just gonna have to figure out playing time and everything. But I mean, Trey Johnson and Bub Carrington did nothing but improve all season, and I think Trey Johnson could even have more of a glorified role. Like I could see him really slipping into that 6 man spot. Just the way his shooting, the way he can shoot the ball, and the presence he brings off the bench, and just all the scoring he adds. I think he's probably the best player they have on the bench. And I think Sar can take a leap while playing with AD, and then you have also Devonsta, where I mean he's not going to be the number one option, but he's just going to impact the floor whenever he touches the ball. And I think with him, they're not going to really they're kind of just going to let the game happen to him naturally. And I mean there ain't no better way to have it better happen naturally than you have one of the best passers in the game, also mixed with one of the best big men. So I'm really interested to see how they work out. I mean, they're a playoff team. I believe they're a playoff team. They can probably
Yeah.
make the play in. I don't know if they're in
Hmm.
my like I said, they're not in my top six. They can definitely make the playoffs, but I see them definitely as a high play in team for sure. Because I also don't know how healthy AD will be, but you also
Hmm.
have players to fill that in.
Yeah. Yeah, and the when I look at this team, I just think like not enough passing and not enough defense. I think defense is gonna like with AD should be fine. I guess Aiton and Sarr are gonna be decent down low, but we all know from the Hawks, we know that
Yeah,
Trey like doesn't guard. Both Treys probably don't guard.
yeah,
Chris Middleton, like I guess AJ wasn't like the worst at BYU when it came to defense, but he's definitely more of an offensive threat. Um, Trey Johnson, I love that you mentioned Trey Johnson, Texas guy. He averaged the second most points in the summer league this past summer league, 26 points per game, 2 rebounds and 1 assist. But also
yeah.
I'm
A
he gets
lot of
up his
scoring.
shots. But also it is a summer league,
That
so like
brother's doing.
I
That brother said, "I'm scoring. I'm not passing. I'm shooting the ball."
which also shout out Malik Thomas. He was number one for most points average. So
Hey, hey, summer league MVP though. The
yeah,
actual
Cam
winnable.
Boozer. Oh
That
it
was
was the
the
Axel.
actual.
I think Cam was the championship MVP, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, but
But
yeah,
Trey, I do want to hit on Trey because like there's not a lot of passing on this team. AJ is probably not going to be the biggest pass, but Trey, um, he had 4 seasons averaging 10 plus assists with the Hawks, and he had 7 with 9 plus assists. So he's very capable of like passing. It's not like the past few years with the Hawks, I don't really know what was going on with him. I feel like he was just kind of checked out at that point. Um, but I do love Bub, Koulibaly. We had also mentioned, I think that they're really good young pieces off the bench, and I know AJ can score. It's just gonna be interesting, how he's gonna play because he's not the best 3-point shooter, and I feel like him and AJ and Trey Johnson both kind of have the same game where I think Trey Johnson can shoot a little bit better from three, but both of them
mhm.
are very much mid-range, like dominant players. So that will be kind of interesting spacing wise when they're both on the court. Um, so yeah, I, like you said, I think they will be a playing team, but I think that's a whole lot better than where they were before. With
Worst
80
record in the
healthy,
league.
yeah, yeah, and with 80 healthy, I mean they very much could. I mean, they very much could make it out of the play-in for sure. Um, but then if they're whoever's the number one seed, I think that would be a little tougher. Um, so
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, I don't really like I mean I had the Bulls, they could possibly be an upside pick. Like Caleb
they just got
Wilson if
so
he
many
plays
small
well.
forwards.
Yeah.
I really think that I think Detroit honestly could get back to the 1 seed again. I just think Cade's gonna do nothing but more improving, and you put better players around him this season. So I mean, and I think they're probably can go the most longevity wise throughout the regular season. They'll care the most, so I can see them getting
Hmm.
back to the 1 seed.
Yeah, well, yeah, so and then also Pacers, I mean Halliburton, Siakam, Zubac. I think they have one of the best like benches. They have McConnell, they have Oubre, and they have Toppin as well. I think those are good pieces off the bench, but I just don't think the Pacers are gonna be like extremely that good. If you have anything on them, I don't know. Um, but
I ain't got much on the Pacers.
yeah.
They didn't do much this offseason. I mean, they traded away a top 5 pick in the draft for Zubox. I mean, I'm not saying Zubac's terrible, but this draft was loaded. They could have got a
Yeah.
franchise player to help
Hmm.
Tyrese, and they traded
Yeah.
it. So,
Which also bringing that up, I'd seen a comparison where the Hawks were able to get this pick and the Pelicans last year, which we thought was like a fleecing, where the Pelicans traded up to get Derek Queen. Um, do you think that the Pelicans really lost that trade? Kind of looking back at it, I know that Flemings hasn't like played a game yet, um, but I honestly I might, as of right now, I might have Derek Queen over Flemings at the moment.
I mean, as of
Um,
right now, yes, but my thing is, I think Flemings is in a better position to get developed more than Derek Queen will.
that's true. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Um, but yeah, we can end it on that. Just the first part. It's crazy. I didn't really think about it until now, but the East is loaded. Like it is so it's crazy. Like the West is basically just the Spurs and the Thunder, and then the East is, I mean, looking at my top five, I could easily see. Maybe not, I don't believe I don't trust the Hawks that much, but I think that there's a very well case any one through five of however it finishes. I think that any of them can win the championship. So,
Oh,
but hey,
absolutely. This is going to
so
be a gauntlet.
yeah, yeah. All right. Well, we are going to take a break, and we will be right back. All right, just going solo for the last part, but this won't be too much. I just thought I'd hit on a few free agency things going on. So today we're recording this on the 28th. Draymond Green just signed with the Warriors. So I think that he originally like didn't sign just because they thought they were going to try and get LeBron. So he would kind of like let the cap be easier for LeBron to potentially, no, he just fit in the budget a little bit more. But since they didn't get LeBron, that's why Draymond signed. Um, I will be kind of interested to see like what Steph does. You know, I feel like he still is going to stay with the Warriors, but it will be kind of interesting to see what he does if he kind of pulls a LeBron where he wants to possibly compete for a championship and he goes to a contender. So that'll be super interesting. We talked about DeMar going to the Heat a little bit earlier. Um, I I think that he kind of fits better with the Nuggets or the Cavs. I don't really, since he's kind of a three or a four, I don't really think that he would necessarily, and they already have Andrew Wiggins, so I don't think that the Heat really need DeMar. But it would be kind of interesting. Peyton Watson as well. I think that he possibly could get traded for another big for the Nuggets, just because they don't really have anyone to back up Jokic since they got rid of Valanciunas. So Peyton Watson will be interesting. He did have one of the better years. He almost doubled his points per game from 2 seasons ago. He went from 8.1 points per game to 14.6. Uh, he was offered $70 million for 5 years, but I think he's definitely wanting a little bit more than that. And since the Nuggets did sign Spencer Jones, that put them over the second apron, and for that reason, um, the Nuggets just don't have that much money to spend. So that will be also very interesting as well. I do think that Peyton Watson would be a really good addition to the Hawks, like what Jalen said earlier in the show. Um, but the Nuggets are saying that they do want two first round picks for Peyton Watson, so that is kind of a little bit of a stretch, I feel like. And if you're giving up two first round picks and a player, that will be a little interesting. Um, so yeah, that is that. And then Benedict Mathurin, he's definitely going to be on the go just because, you know, the Clippers did just draft Keaton Wagler. They have Brandon Ingram now. So it will be kind of interesting, you know, the Hawks, do they trade for Kuminga and or do the Hawks trade for Mathurin and then the Clippers get Kuminga? Like that would be super interesting. That would be a good fit. Um, so just thought I would kind of hit on that a little bit. Again, we kind of did our talk about Jalen Duren. He is currently still on his rookie contract, and he's definitely wanting more because he is a very low value. He's a very valuable asset to the Pistons, but he didn't really play the best in the playoffs. I think that's kind of why the Pistons are a little hesitant, and they'll just kind of want him to play on that rookie contract throughout next season, and then hit free agency to where then they possibly will offer him a contract or possibly move on from him. You don't know. Um, and then James Harden, he's expected to sign this week after LeBron did not sign with the Cavs. Uh, James Harden declined his player option. So it's under the assumption that he's going to have a smaller contract with more guaranteed money. So like the max the max money in the contract is going to be lower, but he's still probably going to get more guaranteed money. I guess that I'm not like a whole like profit cap expert or whatever, so I don't really know how that works. Also going to be on a shorter contract, 2 to 3 years. So that'll be interesting as well. I don't know if James will just retire after that or if he'll go to another team. Um, so yeah, that's kind of just a quick little breakdown. I really do appreciate me and Jaylen do really appreciate it if you guys have made it this far. Um, I know I've we're hoping to get more consistent and post more episodes. So just through y'all support, through y'all watching, through y'all liking all of our stuff on social media, watching the YouTube, listening on Spotify, it goes a long way. We really appreciate you guys. So yeah, make sure you follow us on social media. The Dylan Knows Ball podcast would just go a long way and helping us out. So we really appreciate it. If you made it this far, comment, like, rate us on Spotify as well. That's very appreciated as well. So yeah, that is basically NBA talk. I'm not really sure what direction we're gonna be heading into for the next episode, possibly NFL. I do want to hit on college basketball eventually, just because that is my thing. I love college basketball. I want to make this predominantly a college basketball podcast. But again, we still love talking college football, NFL, NBA. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, so if you made it this far, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.